Mine, in terms of the actual business of public relations, social media is certainly at the top of the agenda. And I think that in terms of social media, because it's such a big subject, I think it's about how best can public relations professionals really further the advancement of what is going on in social media, how they can measure the effect of social media, and looking at and understanding what other agencies are doing in the digital space, because it's probably the biggest blur that we've ever seen in the communications business. And so every discipline wants to own social media, and I think it's going to be very important for the public relations profession to really take ownership of its space. Well, I was reading recently about a study that was done earlier this year that journalists are increasingly relying on social media and digital media for news information. So clearly, whatever is happening online is also being transferred to the offline world. And what I see is the effect that has is most pronounced in the area of crisis and issues management, where something can happen and immediately take off in a very big way. And I believe that a lot of companies aren't really prepared to be able to deal with that in a very sort of fast time basis. I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges between the social media world and the traditional media world. One of the other challenges on a more proactive basis is that a lot of our clients still want to be on the Today Show or in the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal, which is commendable, but unfortunately, or rather fortunately, there's a lot of other sources that can achieve perhaps even better results because they're more targeted. And certainly the digital media space should be seen in very much the same way as the traditional media space, particularly when traditional titles are losing readership and circulation and viewerships. We have to speak to metrics, and we have to think more about what the effect our campaign has on a particular target audience versus the output that we create. And by that I mean, it's not just about the media coverage that we get, it has to be about what that media coverage achieved. And so if that media coverage is a means to increasing awareness, we need to measure the increase in awareness. We need to measure whether or not that puts a brand into the consideration set for purchase. We need to measure sales in some cases. And we need to be able to dissect the effect that public relations has versus some of the other communications and marketing disciplines in order to do that. So I think we have to be increasingly metrics and measurement focused, and that's not always easy given the type of budgets that we're talking about in PR versus some of the larger budgets, for example, in advertising. But that's absolutely critical if we want to be seen to be contributing.